Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 8, which is capacitors in series and parallel. This group consists of 5 persons, which is Charles Philip anak Horizon, Steve Bidi anak Joseph, Muhammad Hakim bin Nur Hisham, Muhammad Faiz Hafizuddin bin Samsuddin, and Ahmad bin Mahdi. Today I want to talk about history of capacitors. Capacitors is a static electricity that was found around 600 BC, when energy storage ability were not established until the mid-70s. Because electricity was thought to be a fluid that could condense, the first Leyden jar was named a condenser when it was discovered. A wire is placed through the top of an insulating stopper in the Leyden jar that is partially filled with water. When static electricity charge the wire, it keep the charge until it come into touch with a conductor which discharge the glass. A variable capacitor was found by Michael Faraday around 100 years later. He accomplished this by measuring the capacitance of several dielectric on a capacitor. 30 years later, after Faraday's work, the first aluminium capacitor was discovered, and the SI unit used to measure capacitance was dubbed a farad in his honor. In word, 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb per volt. Next is theory of capacitors. Capacitors are widely employed in electrical engineering for a variety of purposes, including energy storage, power factor correction, voltage adjustment, and many more. Capacitance is also present in all electrical distribution systems and might be critical to their performance. Electrical practitioners must grasp capacitor theory in order to properly comprehend capacitor and their application. This is the formula for capacitance, which is C equal to Q per B. That's all from me, and the next will be continued by another person.
Greetings, my name is Steve Bidikana Joseph, and today I'm going to present about application of capacitors in series in engineering system. So first, I will explain the function of the capacitors in series. So first of foremost, capacitors is an electronic devices that store electrical energy in the form of a charge. So basically, by connecting the capacitors in series, it can help to increase the effective circuit voltage when handling capability. In other words, capacitors when connected in series will also help to reduce the total capacitance. Other than that, capacitors in series can help to block direct current, hence they can be used as a filter for alternating current supply when connected in series. So the formula to calculate in series capacitance is C total is equal to 1 over C1 plus 1 over C2 plus 1 over C sum 3, and the next one until 1 over Cn. So the SI unit for the calculation is farad. So these are the application for capacitor in series. So firstly is arc furnace power supply. So the basis of the functioning of this safety system is that anytime the voltage across the spark gap exceeds the predetermined safe value, the spark gap operates instantly. As a result, the series capacitor voltages are kept within acceptable limits. So the next one is induction generator application. So the combination of a shunt capacitor and a series capacitor is thought to provide self-excitation and self-regulation. A diesel engine, a water turbine, or a wind turbine can all be used as the prime mover. So basically, series capacitor can be used to regulate the voltage of a stand-alone generator. So the next application is traction application. So for traction application, the shunt and series capacitor compensation were used in the coal mining sector to keep the voltage at the far end stable. So that's all for application of capacitors in series in engineering system. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Charles. So today I will present about capacitor in parallel. So the function is capacitor are electronic device that store electrical energy in form of charge. By connecting the capacitors in parallel, the circuit will able to store more energy because the sum of the capacitance is larger. Okay, next, how to calculate capacitance. So as you can see, we have a parallel capacitance formula here, which is total capacitance equals to capacitor 1 plus capacitor 2 plus capacitor 3 and so on. So you can see at the picture we have three capacitor here, which is 10 farad, 22 farad and 47 farad. So C total will be 10 farad plus 22 farad plus 47 farad, which is equals to 79 farad. So the total capacitance in the circuit is 79 farad. So next, the application of uh, parallel capacitors. Uh, it is used in DC power supplies. The function is to filter the output signal and eliminate the AC ripple. Number two, for capacitor bank. Can be used to make up the power factor lag or phase shift in an AC power supply. So this capacitor will back up the lag phase shift in AC power supply. Next, we have hybrid cars. Capacitor is used to store large amount of electrical energy for the car. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faiz Hafizuddin and I will continue the presentation. So I will tell you about the advantage of capacitor. So first, the advantage is reducing current in the circuit. So it will maximize the usage of uh, electric energy and it can carry more load in the circuit. So next is stores energy. So capacitor will store energy from the circuit, and when the circuit needs more energy, the capacitor will release or provide the energy, the electrical energy to the circuit. And third is save our money. So when we use capacitor, capacitor maximize the electrical energy, the electric energy in the circuit. So the usage of power or energy in the circuit may be less. So the bill will be more cheap to be paid. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hakim Hasham. So I will continue about the conclusion here. So the conclusion for this presentation is firstly we go to the series. Okay, series. So when capacitors are connected in series, the total capacitance is less than any one of the series capacitor individual capacitance. If capacitor connected two or more capacitor in series, overall the overall effect is that of a single capacitor having the sum total of the spacing of the individual capacitor. So from this series capacitance formula, you can see capacitance total is equal to 1 over 5 capacitance 1 plus 1 over capacitance 2 plus 1 over capacitance n. So n is meaning this put number of capacitance here. If 10, just put 1 until 10. If 3, 1 until 3. Okay, next, parallel capacitance. So the conclusion for the parallel is when capacitor are connected in parallel, the total capacitance is the sum of the individual capacitance. If capacitor connected two or more, the overall effect is that of a single equivalent capacitor having the sum total of the plate area of the individual capacitors. So from the equation, here is the formula for the parallel capacitance. So total is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3 and so on. Just put the number of capacitance needed. If 20, just put 20. If 3, put until 3. Okay, that's from me. I hope you understand. Okay, thank you.